it now. So I'm going to sit down and chill. So the next person I want to present, if you ask his team to say one thing about him, they're all going to say, he's super chilled. He might be the most chilled boss ever. That doesn't mean he doesn't push them to do good, or do well, or do excellent. He's just really down to earth and chilled. I first met him in Copenhagen, and he was the first from the scientific team I ever met. And I was amazed by the fact that he was so approachable, he was so humble, and yet he achieved so much in life. You might see him riding his bicycle in the mountains, or even his motorcycle, which is one of his big passions. Another big passion of his is, of course, supplementations. And he is the head up of all of our Pharmanex products. So I'm going to get up now, and so are you. Stand up, get on your feet, put your hands together for Dr. Mark Bartlet.
Said that we were going to use big words. That's not really easy for me. You know, I was born in the outback Australia, the son of a sheep farmer. You know, we were lucky to get out of high school, let alone sort of study more. So I've always been a simple man. My mother just said, whatever you do, whether it's looking after the apples on the farm or the sheep or something else great, like maybe you could be a doctor. Whatever you do, just do it well. And so that's really been my focus. And so I ended up studying immunology, moved to the United States and worked for the National Cancer Institute. And my mother was so proud. She's like, my son did become a doctor, kind of, curing cancer. And then I told her, I announced, I'm moving to this place called Provo, Utah. I'm going to join this company called Nuskin. And she was very disappointed. In fact, there was a drug that I was working on in Australia to cure cancer, and it made it into the front page news, the Canberra Times. And my mother, you know, they were talking about how this drug was working, it was so good, the scientists discovered all this cool stuff, and my mother wrote on the top of this article and sent it to me. And when I read it, it said, there was an arrow pointing to the article, and she said, this could have been you. So I guess she thought I missed my calling, but let me tell you, I think it is so important that we all, who wants to be healthy all the days of their lives and also look good? Yeah, and that's really what we do at Pharmanex. We want you to be healthy all the days of your life and look good. In fact, I say, I want to die young, as late in life as possible, right? So that's what we do at Nuskin. So let's get the slides up there, if we could. So I had this friend called Frank. I met him when he was about 90, and he was on one of our motorcycle rides. And then I met him again about, I don't know, a few years later. He was living in my neighborhood. He was 101. And he just looks so good. And he eventually passed away at about 104. And I thought, you know, that is such a good example. And I asked him one day, I said, Frank, how is it that you are so young, that you look so good, even though you're in your hundreds? And he said, well, I don't know if you know about this stuff. It's kind of about nutrition science. But he said, you need to eat really well and don't overeat. So I thought, yep, I can really appreciate that, Frank. Good advice. So, we have at Nuskin we look at anti-aging science, and we have a strategy that helps us to sort of get to the bottom of this. And the first thing that you need to remember about aging well is nutrition science. So nutrition science is really about getting all the vitamins and minerals that you need. And let me share a little snippet with you. When your body doesn't get quite enough of a certain vitamin or a mineral, then it has to make a decision. Are you having trouble with the slides there? I'd love to see some. Your body has to make a decision to keep you alive today or to help you to age well into the future. Let me give you an example. If you don't get quite enough calcium, what happens? I think everyone knows that your bones are not as strong. Well, the reason is because your body has made a decision. Your body says, the bones are good, we want them to be strong, but calcium is also used, I don't know if you knew this, for movement and for thinking. Calcium is important in nerve impulses. So your body says, well, what's most important? Moving and thinking to keep you alive today, right? The South Africans here, right? You've got to run away from the lions, right? And so you have to survive and you have to hunt. And so it's so important that you can move and think. And so the body does this triage. It says, well, I'm sorry, you don't have quite enough calcium. I'll help you to live today, but you won't age very well. Your bones won't be as strong. And then there's the B vitamins. B vitamins help us to get energy from the food that we eat. But the B vitamins, I don't know. Oh, there's my friend Frank. I just saw him there. Here we go. So the B vitamins are important for getting energy from the food that you eat. But did you know that will keep you alive today? If you don't get quite enough, then your DNA can't be repaired. So, who wants to have everything that they need today, but also enough so that they'll age well? I think we all do, right? That's why it's so important that we have good nutrition. So let me show you our friend Frank. There he is, me and some of my kids. And Frank, he's 101 in that picture. We can all be like him. We just need to take care of ourselves. Nutrition science is really the foundation of aging well, and the body will soon discover your weaknesses, so you need to just make sure you get enough of everything. And that's why we have products like LifePack that give you lots of vitamins and minerals, all that you need, so that your body doesn't have to make a choice about whether it ages well or lives today. Now, one thing that people don't appreciate perhaps is that essential fatty acids are also, like the vitamins and minerals, very important. Right? And unless you eat a lot of fish, especially the small fish that are a little bit smelly, you're probably not getting enough of the essential fatty acids. And that's why we provide these supplemental forms. Who likes anchovies? There's a pizza restaurant across the road. I have anchovies on my pizza every day. I don't know why people don't seem to like it. My friends in the restaurant kind of move away a little bit. They said, it smells like the tide has just gone out, right? That's why sometimes we need supplements. Now, when you're doing things like you're getting good supplements, whether it's from herbs and things like that, or from the sea, you want to make sure that you are responsible, right? We want to be good stewards of the earth, like Paul Cox mentioned. And so you'll be pleased to know that, for example, when we harvest anything that's natural, including fish or krill from the sea, we make sure that we are not over-harvesting. We harvest, for example, our krill below the limit. We have technology that allows us not to catch other things beside the exact thing that we want to catch in the sea. That's very important. You don't want to harm the fish or the porpoises and other animals. And we have certifications. For example, we have the Marine Stewardship Council certification for our krill and Friends of the Sea for our fish oil. So we really are very responsible in the way that we source our materials at Nuskin. I think that should make you happy. Now, I talked about nutrition. Joe already mentioned, and Helen already mentioned, that when you are healthy on the inside, you're going to look good on the outside. And there are targeted approaches that we can use to help there. And you know, this is where Nuskin was born. Did you know that? Like, the first products that we had at Nuskin in 1984, of course, were skin products. We learned about the spoon, all those cool things. Did you know that after a few years, Blake and Sandy and Steve noticed that even though we had the best personal care products in the world, some people still didn't look good. The hair was dull, the nails were cracked and broken, the skin was still a little dry. How could this be? They soon realized that nutrition and beauty also comes from the inside out. And so they put together a product then that was called Image HNS. Has anyone heard of that product? It was called Image for hair, nails, and skin. This is something that Nuskin then realized was so important, and they started a new company called interior design nutrition, meaning beauty from the inside out. Well, we've come a long way since then, and we're super proud of this product that Joe already talked about, our beauty from the inside out, beauty-focused collagen. I don't need to talk any more about that because Joe already introduced you. So, around the 90s, a new branch of science started to come out, and it was all about free radical biology. I know I promised not to use big words, but really we're talking about antioxidant science. We started to realize that there are certain things in nature, in pollution, in the air, or even from the inside out, that make us age faster. Now, it was very complicated science, and we wondered, how can we teach this science and help people to understand it in an easy way? And we were very lucky to have discovered some technology, the biophotonic scanner, which allowed us to measure antioxidants and see if you could improve. And it's really based on some very important antioxidants that we find in nature called carotenoids. Lycopene, the red one, from tomatoes, or beta-carotene, the orange one, from carrots. These are all very powerful frontline antioxidants. And if you can measure those in your skin non-invasively, then it can give you enormous motivation to try to eat better so that you get all of these antioxidants. Or if you're taking a supplement, then measure the baseline, and after 2 or 3 weeks of taking the supplement, do I see an improvement in my scanner score? Does everyone here know what their scanner score is? All right. For those of you who don't know your scanner score, I hope you can find someone with a scanner and measure. Because even Europeans have trouble getting enough fruits and vegetables in their diet. So this graph here shows, for example, for Belgium on the left, 86% of you don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. And are the Polish better? Oh, a wee bit better. 90%. Oh no, that's not better. More is not good. 90% of you in Poland don't get enough fruits and vegetables. Right? So we all have something to work on. And we can tell if we're improving by looking at our scanner score. So most people scan around 30,000. The average person is in the orange there. Who wants to be average? Good, I'm glad. We don't want to be average, we want to be outstanding. We want to die young, as late in life as possible, right? So let's make sure that we get enough fruits and vegetables, and maybe even supplement with Life Pack that has lots of these antioxidants. Now finally, gene expression science, also kind of complicated, but basically each of us has DNA. Every cell has 23 chromosomes, and in that is the DNA. The DNA is really just like the recipe book for creating and maintaining the human body. And if we keep the DNA expressing itself the right way, we can be healthy all the days of our lives. And in order to measure that gene expression, we use a gene chip. And we are able to now screen for ingredients that help our gene expression to be expressing itself as healthy as possible. For example, one of the projects that we did was we looked at mitochondria, how your body produces energy in the body. And the genes, there are about 1,000 genes that create and maintain the mitochondria. The first question, as you age, are there differences in the way the genes express themselves? And you can see from this graph here that there are, different ways. So young gene expression from this graph looks a little bit different to old gene expression. Now we fed old individuals that look more like the second part here, ingredients from nature, and we were looking to see if we could shift gene expression back to a more healthy pattern. Here's 5 experiments. You tell me which of those experiments worked, which ingredient out of those 5 ingredients helped change old patterns of gene expression back to youthful. Ingredient number 4, you are correct. This is an example of how we use this gene expression technology to screen for ingredients that can help you to be able to stay healthy and beautiful all the days of your life. And some of this technology is incorporated into anything that we call age lock. So in summary then, if we want to age well, we need good nutrition. We also need to be able to handle free radicals. with good antioxidants, and we can measure that with the scanner. And then we've also used some very high science to look at gene expression. But the bottom line is, whatever we do, we need to do it well. We want to help you to be healthy all the days of your life, and also to have beauty from the inside out. And thank you so much for your time this morning.